Good morning, afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is for you, I'm Cyclone. It's time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. It's the big day. Huddersfield line is out, and I am now rushing to get a video out to keep my promise to you guys before the day gets too old. So here we are looking at the first scenario. This is the Armstrong Powerhouse Class 158 included with the route. There are 3 scenarios, it looks like, for that. Number 1, number 4, and number 6. We have 2 for the 142, which I'm going to highlight right here. And we have 2 for the Class 47, which is right here. So we have all these 3 trains represented. Looks like the 08 and the 03 do not get scenarios. From what I understand, the 03 only was at Leeds and between Leeds and Doncaster or something along those lines. I'm not sure about the 08, but in any case, we haven't gotten any scenarios for either of those. So the 3 that we do have, pardon me, the 3 trains that we do have, I'm trying to say, the main driving ones all have scenarios and multiple in each case. With the 3rd for the 158. So the 158 from Armstrong Power is definitely getting its use here. Happy to see that here, and we're going to take a look at it today. Let's get started on our first drive, which looks like it is from, I'm going to scroll the title again, from 1E49 Manchester Piccadilly to Hull, which means we're going to be stopping, I believe, at Leeds. This is Diverted service through Leeds so that we can see the whole service. So here we go. Let's see what this looks like. Good morning, driver. Today you'll be operating this 6-car Class 158 service from Manchester, Victoria to Leeds. More information is available. I do not like briefings. Let's go ahead and stop the train. That's the more important thing. I don't care what a piece of paper says. Shift W, reverser goes up, alerter gets answered, remove the DSD because you have a green signal up ahead, or the driver reminder appliance, not the DSD. Tail lights, K turns those off, H turns the headlights on. We have the I for the instrument lights. I think that's everything. There's no GSMR, nothing else. Wow, what is going on with that window? Okay, there's a helicopter or something over there, or a crane, construction crane, that's what we're seeing. Open the doors. The reason I don't like the briefing, by the way, is because look at what happens to the task list over here. You can't scroll the task list above the briefing. If this stop list here were not here, you'd have the entire task list able to fit without having to scroll. The workman information that we have to look at the briefing for, not important. The Piccadilly is spelled wrong in the line above that. Yeah, I have no problem with having a briefing with text in the briefing. Like a small bit of text there is okay. But when it gets long like this, it's a little annoying. That's just my personal take. I'm sure everyone has their own personal opinion. And if there's only one task, it doesn't really matter. But if you have more than a few tasks, having that expanded briefing can actually impact that. Anyway, let's look at the train before we leave. So you may have noticed that the brakes stay set even though I had released them. As I'm pulling the brake to release, you might notice the brakes stayed set for a moment. They will stay set until the doors close. This is also the case on trains like the Class 455, which is a DTG model that is available, that has scenarios on the South London Network Group. Spoiler, you are going to see those in the future. Probably a couple weeks after I'm done doing all these ones. They're already recorded, so they're ready to go. In fact, I've still cut 1 or 2 of them as I'm recording this, but that's a different story. So leaving Manchester, Victoria, our first stop will be Stalybridge. So those brakes come off, but you will not be able to apply any throttle until you actually are approved to, basically. You're going to have to keep yourself, kind of hold yourself back, because if you don't hold yourself back, what I have found is that the train doesn't want to move if you try and take the brakes off while the doors are still open. I don't know why that is. It just happened to me on one of my attempts here. So something like that will really eat into your time. And this first timing is really tight. I also found out that if you stop 3 cars at Stalybridge, the doors will not open. The fact that I have to publish this video today is starting to wear on me, guys. I hope that doesn't show in my future commentary. Anyway, we are working in a 40-mile-per-hour section right now. We're about to enter a 50. That's going to be nothing because we're not going to be able to get up to 41 by the time we get into it, unfortunately. Just the way that it works. So I'm making sure we don't speed in the 40 right now. I'm going to show you what I mean when I say we're not going to get to 41. So I've gone ahead and started increasing the speed as we got out of the 40. You can see that the 30 is half a mile away. We're not even going to get close to 50. I don't know why there's a 50 here. You can't get close to it. There's no point having the 50 here. We did reach 41, which is actually an improvement. We're not going to reach 42 because we have to slam the brakes. In fact, I should have done that earlier. So I have to do a... Normally the uphill would be enough to bring your speed down, but I didn't respond to that. So needless to say, I'm forced to use the brakes. For timing purposes, that's probably better anyway. So now we're down to 30. Reapplying the throttle to try to not drop too much here because I don't want to do that. You can see this track splits up ahead. The track ahead continues to Newton Heath and to Rockdale, which we don't, the latter we don't have on the route. Newton Heath we do have. Okay, that's what we're hearing. They're still doing work on the demolition on that side, it looks like. But you saw on the our side, the tracks were completely demolished. Or the station was completely demolished, rather. Tracks are fine. So we're going to be leaving another 30-mile-per-hour segment into a 50, I believe it is. Yeah, 50. No, 60. Sorry, that's a 60. 5 and 6, they look the same to me. That's my excuse for speeding. Rendering a 70-mile-per-hour section. The next thing we're going to be highlighting is Park Station. Both Park Station and Miles Plating Station closed in 1995, so the earliest timetables that we have readily available online on the Network Rail site, not counting other websites, the earliest timetables are 1994 in the summer, and for this particular route, it's basically the fall timetable, so September of 1994 is the earliest for this route. I don't see the CE for the summer, unfortunately. So, because of that, we can actually see stops at Miles Plating and Park Stations in that timetable. And you know that because they're in bold. That's what typically they did with station stops. They put them in bold, I believe. So we know in the actual timetable for 1994, you were able to make stops here. Needless to say, if we're making a scenario for 1994, we're not going to be stopping there. We will not be stopping there if we have a scenario for 1994. But anything 95 onwards, you basically don't go there anymore. The stations are closed, they don't exist, and anything 1995 to now could be considered current for this route. That will change in a couple months, and that's with the station that is new on this version of the route. It won't be open much longer. We'll talk about that later. A little bit of information I found on that. That talks about the currency of this route. So we're coming up to, well, we should be coming up to Park. We're coming up to 4.5 miles to go, I was going to say. I think I might have already missed Park Station. I have already missed the thing I wanted to talk about. It was all the way back here. Well, that's a great way to start, isn't it? I missed the highlight. I'll forget it next time. At least I mentioned it exists before we reached it, so hopefully you saw Park Station there. We're not going back to see it now. So I'm attempting to keep my speed as close to 75 as possible without going over. You know, Price is Right rules. So moving to level 6 throttle. The gradient is going to smooth out up ahead, so this is something I'm going to have to keep an eye on if I'm going to be riding so close to the limit. Unfortunately, on this route, on this scenario at least, not necessarily on the route, but on this scenario, it looks like I'm going to have to ride close to the limit. Because having done this once already, like I said, I got 3 cars in Stalybridge, tried to open them, and I was considered late, and that would have been the latest I could have opened the doors. on that attempt, so without being late. So needless to say, I know I'm going to have to push this one. Expect me to spend some time concentrating and not chatting here, which is probably going to be something you love hearing. So I will not be surprised. You can see that we do have a 60 coming up ahead. You can see I'm also losing some speed here, which I did not want to do. Because I am losing time based on that. Unfortunate but true. Since the step 2 brake works so well, I'm going to have to probably milk the step 2 brake on this part of the journey. So here we go. We're going to cut the speed back. Yeah, the ground is smoothed out, guys. I don't know if you noticed that. So 60 coming up, we're going to have to brake for that. I'm going to do it in about half a mile out. Now I'll keep the throttle idle. And let's go. Well, it's coming off rather nicely. Let's take the brakes off for a second. Okay, now I'll put them back on. Okay, that fortunately did respond. I was a little concerned I was going to miss it for a second, but I got that response to the alert in, alerting to the 35 mile per hour speed limit. We were not alerted to the 60. Not low enough to require an alert, so let's go ahead and slam those brakes on and get down to 35. I seem to have gained a little time on my ETA, but now I'm losing it again because I'm going down in a 60 to 35. Makes sense. I may not get downtime. I might need to do I'm going to do a slight step 2 here. Okay. I'm in time. Good. There's a sign for 35 right there. 25 junction. We're not going to take that. We don't care about that. Here's Stalybridge coming up. We have a full minute to make our stop. So this is better than my previous attempt. That's good news. This is better than my previous attempt. But we are going to go ahead and slam those brakes on in the station because I want to make sure we stop right where we need to. We're fully in the station, full service brake application. We're going to ease it off so passengers don't get jolted. Based on the seconds, we're slightly late, but we're going to deal with it. So back to step 1 for the easy stop. Doors are open at Stalybridge, platform number 1. Should be on time. I never seem to know where the buzzer keyboard shortcut is on these trains. That's why I use the horn. Leaving Huddersfield, or sorry, leaving Stalybridge. Our next stop is Huddersfield. Stopping today at platform number 8, which I believe is an outer platform. I think on the far left. Because you may remember platform 1, I believe, was on the far right. We should be coming up to speed a little bit faster here, so let's go ahead and do that. So we're not due at Huddersfield until 7:56. We're scheduled to arrive at 7:56. That's something we're going to have to improve on. We're leaving at a 50 mile per hour speed limit. We're going to be entering a 65 mile per hour speed limit. There are going to be other speed limit changes as we go here. Here we are coming up to Stalybridge Old Tunnel. So we just came off Stalybridge Tunnel Junction. Now, the actual Stalybridge tunnel, there is a gap in the tunnel. I noticed on some cab ride videos, so it looks like that gap is not replicated on this route, unfortunately. So a little detail missed there, I believe, on the part of DTG. So I don't know if that's something that can be added in a future patch, but there should be a gap in that tunnel. So it's like two tunnels in that sense. And I understand that gaps in tunnels can be hard to replicate, so I can understand why if they avoided doing that for whatever reason, but nonetheless, if you want to be realistic, there is a gap there. A light, you can see the light coming in at some point, so it's either two tunnels or there's just a gap in the tunnel. So we're cranking that level 7 throttle all the way up to top of this hill here. There goes another service. Looks like another 158. And look at that. Not what I wanted to do. Sorry. Get your head out the window. There you go. That's what I wanted to look at. Got to it just in time. That's what I wanted to look at. Let's stop looking at this. Okay. Why my driver just decided to suddenly stare at a wall, I cannot explain. Oh, look at the detail on this piece of plastic here. We're at 62 miles per hour, 65. We're entering, I forget the name of this tunnel. I don't have it immediately on hand with me right now. Scout Tunnel. I think it was Scout Tunnel. I'm trying to make sure I don't speed right now. I don't care about the name of that station right now. We're not stopping at every station today, so we're not going to be seeing all of them. Okay, let's just double check for you what the name of that station was, because I actually forgot off the top of my head here. That is Moss. I was going to say Mossley, too. I should have just stuck with it. I knew that was Mossley. And if you want to know where on the map we're going to be coming up to the next station, first of all, let's blow our horn. Let's bring up the map very briefly, show you the next station. So you can see up ahead is another patch of green right there. If we zoom in on that, there's Greenfield. And I don't think there's any... Oh, wait, there is another station up in Huddersfield. There's a train wait coming through Marsden up ahead. So those are... Did we center? Those are two stations coming up, Greenfield and Marsden. And the reason I highlighted those is because in that stretch of railway, another line used to stretch away called the Micklehurst. It went through a couple other stations. I kind of talked about it on the TSW cab ride. Unfortunately, that line does not exist today, so you're not going to see it branch away. I don't think it exists in the 80s either, because you didn't see it on the 80s route either. So I think that line was probably one of the ones that suffered from the beaching report and got closed after beaching. That's just my guess on that. Unfortunately, a lot of railway lines suffered that fate from the beaching report. Oh, we don't have to pay to maintain this line anymore? Rip it up! Here's Greenfield. Which just went by. I'm a little slow calling that one out today. So that was Greenfield, I should say. Ground has leveled out, so I'm going to remove the throttle completely to try to avoid speeding. We are still in a 65. We have not been graduated up back to 75 or 80 yet. Now we'll put a minor throttle application on so we don't lose too much speed. Had to pull it off for a moment because I was about to speed. The engine does take a little moment to respond here, so if you find that you're going too quickly up to a certain speed, you may have to tap those brakes to make sure you don't go above it, even as you remove the throttle. Ignore that 15 up ahead, guys. That is a rogue speed from what I've been told. And I remember seeing Jack say something about to Jamie on the live stream that 15 does not apply. We do need to get down to 60. That does apply. Looks like there's two 60 signs there because it looks like it's a little bolded. So I think there's two signs hanging out in that area for the 60. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the throttle to get down to 60. A little bit early. I didn't plan for it to come off that quickly, but that's because we ended up hitting an uphill, and now I'm losing even more speed on this uphill. 1 in 124 uphill grading. So it actually helps you for the 60. It doesn't help you for your timing if you want to maintain it up to the moment. I think we're going to be okay with this timing anyway. I'm not too concerned about this one. Only if I screw up. So you see we do graduate to an 85 right after we get past our Rogue 15 sign coming up here. There's a junction. I believe this is the Diggle Junction area if I remember correctly. I could be misremembering that. But that would be a 25 track that pulls away. And the trivia on that is that there's no sign for that track. So that's the little highlight there. And yeah, I was right. That was Diggle Junction because this is the Stand Edge Tunnel, I believe is what the name of this was. This is a really long tunnel, so we're going to be in the dark for a while, guys. So as we go through the Stand Edge Tunnel here, keep in mind that whoa, yeah, we can go 85. Yeah, I can speed up. So we are going to be doing a Class 142 scenario next, I believe. And that is going to be, I think I remember seeing that's a Huddersfield to Manchester. So we're not even going to see Leeds in that scenario. So Huddersfield to Manchester on that one. And then we're going to be returning to Leeds in scenario number 3 to pick up a Class 47 service, which is going to take us, I believe, all the way to Manchester. So those are the next two scenarios coming up here, and I haven't determined yet if the next scenario, the Class 142, is going to be tomorrow. If I can get this recorded in time after I get this the scenario you're seeing right now edited, then I may be able to get this out by Wednesday. I do want to put the second video out on Wednesday. But I'm definitely going to take Thursday off because I need the time to make sure I can do quality recordings for you. And then I'm going to do scenarios 3 and 4 on Friday and Saturday. That's the current plan. So then our launch window will be done. We're going to move to a regular schedule. We're going to do Tuesday as the 5th scenario. And then Friday and Saturday, I have the extra time I need to get those last 2 scenarios done. So we're going to try and get all the scenarios done in basically the next 11 days. A bit of a tight timetable, but not one that I haven't done before. So we're definitely going to be able to do that. 45 coming up, so I expect an alert for that very soon. Let's just see what happens here. Got it. Okay. The alert responded. We're going to work on getting down to 45 now. You saw I took a little speed off just to prepare me for the alert because I knew if I didn't, I might not reach the 45 in time without having to do some advanced braking. So I'm trying to do this without a step 2 brake. I may, however, have to do a step 2 brake in a moment here. Our ETA keeps getting later and later. This is concerning me. I'm now going to be 40 seconds after the time, it looks like. We have 8 miles to go and 7 minutes to go. Whoa, don't. Ooh, nice train in the tunnel there. I was off a little early for the speed restrictions, so that was kind of my fault there. We're exiting Stand Edge Tunnel. Something we'll see coming from the other direction, but I'll show you quickly on the train right now. See that lovely canal there with the workers? So there are some of the workers there. I didn't even know the workers were there when I got that shot for you. I just happened to find them. So there you go. Were those the ones mentioned in the briefing? Nah, this is not Slough. I don't know why the workers were there. They're just working there. Here's Marsden. 60s an hour speed limit, so I've gone back to a level 7 throttle for a moment. We're also on a downhill, so I'm actually not going to maintain that 7th throttle because we're going to keep gaining speed on this downhill. But I have to at least put some speed on. Yeah, if I kept the 7th throttle, we would have gone in 60 way too quickly there. So I'm glad I took it off. We're only about 58 right now, entering the 70. I can put the throttle back on now. I should not be at 70 by the time we hit the 85. We're going to do the downhill. And for once, we might actually get to go a really good speed on this line. Let's see if we can pull it off. Try and get to 85. We're 6.5 miles from Huddersfield as we enter the 85. We only have about 5 minutes to go before we have to stop. So, okay, it is a little tight. But we're going over a mile a minute, so we should be gaining some of that time. My criteria for figuring out how we're doing for a station stop. Are we able to go a mile a minute? 60? Nope. Then you might be going slowly. We're going to have to cut that brake, put that brake on, cut that speed back as we come up to the station as well. Now I need to actually take the throttle completely off because we are at 85. We might be gaining speed. We are gaining speed on this downhill without any throttle applied. So I'm going to have to put slight brake applications on as we go on this 1 and 104 gradient. So we'll put one on right now just to show you. We take it back to 84.7 and we're still gaining. So we are going to gain all the way to the bottom of this hill. But the good news is I'm going the speed limit, guys. First time I've been able to really reach 85 on this journey. And I think this is the fastest we're going to go on this journey, so let's enjoy it. Put a brake on. Again, I forgot what that station was. My memory is just not there today, apparently. My memory is not serving me. That was actually Slough. I should have known that. That was the Slough. Again, those workers were back there at the tunnel before Marsden, so maybe that's what they meant. Maybe that's what the briefing meant by the Slough area. I can tell you, though, the next station for sure is Huddersfield. That I know without a doubt. So we're now under 3.5 miles. We're getting down to about 3.5 minutes. Or 3 minutes, I should say. We also see the 70 coming up, which means that's going to get a little tighter for us. I think that sign beyond is a 60. I can't really read it, but I think it's a 60. Hopefully it clears. Oh, I need that brake. Put that brake on. Thank you. Gonna get our alert response ready here. There it is. So we're gonna start dropping to 70. In fact, I should have probably done it a moment ago. But we have the 60, I believe, right after it. And look at that 35 up ahead. Yeah, we're getting slowed down for the station stop. I'm getting a step 2 brake, actually, so let's do that. Gonna keep the brake on as we get down to 60. Little bit of lag there, it looked like. Okay, let's hold here for a moment. The sign did clear. It does say 60. So I guessed that correctly. Woo! There was a response to the alert. Didn't want to go at first, but we got it. think there's a bug with responding to alerts on this train, guys. Oh, we have a double yellow. Okay, that would be a reason for the alert, wouldn't it? That'd be a really good reason for the alert. We have a red at the end of the platform at Huddersfield right now, guys. Stand by. This is the Gladholt Tunnel, by the way. Gladholt North Tunnel. We have to get down to 25, which is why I've been slowing down. There we go. So it is now a single yellow. Well, we knew it was going to be a single yellow just because of the way things work. So this is platform number 8 we're coming into. I'm going to take the brakes off because I'm down to the required 25. There is a 20 along the platform, but we're going to be stopping there anyway. I noticed the speed went back up over 26 for a moment. So we're going to keep it here for a moment at 23. So I pulled it down to 20 a little early because it makes sense. I need to get the stop in on time here. I got the alert responded to. So this scenario is really tight, guys. I did not think it was going to be this tight. We cannot pass the red, so I need to make sure I don't overshoot. So brakes are on. We're going to open the doors at Huddersfield right now at platform number 8. And I'll see what's going on with this red in a moment. Train doesn't want to move, so we're going to reset the brakes quickly and get ourselves going. Maybe. There it goes. Train did not want to go. What is with this train today? I don't understand. So you can see that our signal ahead did clear to a double yellow. We're not going to worry about that other signal, which is for platform number 6 next to us. Ours is a double yellow. So signal did clear. There was some activity going on here. Thankfully, it's not going to affect us. 20 is our limit coming out of the station, so I'm going to watch it here. Good news is for the next stop, we're currently slated to be early. So this is something I like to see. That's going to change, I guarantee you. Ooh, I got out of the 20 just in time. I can now speed up to 40 miles per hour and eventually up to 70 miles per hour. Well, you may notice I got to 20.9 there. Now, we still have yellow signals, so we're not able to actually speed up yet. Something is going on up here. Let's take a quick peek at what's going on up here. I'm going to go ahead and coast for a moment. Well, I'll stay at 1. Oh, we just cleared double yellow. We don't have to really take a look. So I think we can assume at this point that we are following another train. We are going to have to ride in as yellows for a while, unfortunately. But once that train starts getting up to 70, we should be okay to clear to 70 ourselves and go the line speed. So this appears to be the reason for the minute delay in our timing here. We're going to have to wait for this train to get up to speed. Because of the double yellow, I'm not doing a full-throated increase right now. But if we see a double yellow without a single, like we don't see a signal upgrading ahead of us when we come around the corner, then we're probably okay to keep increasing speed. So there is some kind of a yellow there. As we get our binoculars out, is a single yellow. We're going to have to watch it here. We're going to be going through Dayton up ahead. So I think the train has stopped at Dayton up ahead. Why we are not passing this train at Dayton, I have no idea. Just in case we have a red up ahead, I want to be ready. So I am zooming in just a little bit. It's a yellow. We're good. So it looks like the train up ahead of us has left Dayton. It's currently in between the next two signals you see further ahead. I've responded to my signal. It's now a double yellow, so it's actually gone beyond. It's a mile over 1.2 miles ahead of us now because it's going to be in that signal block. That is currently a red signal. I'm going to go ahead and start increasing speed for a moment here, hoping that I can actually get up where I want to be, because my ETA is dropping like, well, actually it's better than it was. There's Dayton, by the way. We've only got 6 miles to go, basically a 9-minute drive here, so I have a feeling we're going to be in yellows all the way to Dewsbury, the way the timings are set up here. In fact, the only reason you would see the original timings in the briefing there, let's say Q, thank you. I notice it says 8:08 for Dewsbury, so it looks like we are being stalled up ahead for whatever reason. Now that sign up there, I assume that is a 60. I've had a couple of mesh speed signs already, and in both cases I think they were a 60, except for the one at Huddersfield was a 20 in the platform. I think that was mesh too. I remember seeing that. I don't think I've seen any 50s or 45s meshed together yet, so we're going to see what happens with the speed sign up here. My guess is a 60. So there's two possibilities here. One, either I already knew that, or B, lucky guess. Notice that downhill burst 1 in 60 that we were just on. We're going to have to control our speed coming into what I assume is a 60. Thank you. That is a single yellow. Uh-oh. So we don't care what the speed limit is now. We had to lower our speed for the single yellow. I was right. It was a 60. So it's a yellow now, so we're good to continue. But I don't want to increase speed too much because I know I'm following another train. It should be out of the way in time, but if it isn't, we could be crashing into the back of it. So we're going to do what we should be doing here, regardless of what the timing says. We're going to do what we should be doing. Drive carefully. And then just hope that we're on time. Trying to maintain speed for right now. I should have a sight of the next signal early enough, and the step 2 brake is usually pretty good, so I should be able with a full service brake to get it down once I'm low enough. Actually, I don't have a clean sight of the next signal. That's not good, but it is a yellow. So we are going to be able to proceed. There's another 60 up ahead. That might have been Dewsbury we just passed. Let me see. No, Murfield. Murfield. No, Dewsbury is where I'm stopping. Duh. If I'm passing Dewsbury, I failed the scenario. There you go. I forgot which platform I was looking at. Yep, my memory is definitely not there today. And my notes are not with me. Sorry, guys. I'll bring my notes for the next scenario. So based on the time we've been in this block, we should be seeing a yellow up. Is that a green? Oh, all of a sudden we have a green signal. Okay, that's interesting. We went from a yellow to a green all of a sudden. I'm not going to say no to that, but I want to know what happened here. Let me look at the map and see what's going on. Ah! That's why he's heading to Wakefield Westgate. And Dewsbury is... Well, that's Ravensthorpe right there. We're coming to Ravensthorpe. So, we got 2 miles to go, and we got lots of time based on that 2 miles. So I should be speeding up. Answer? You're joking. You're joking. Well, guys, this is a bug with the Armstrong Powerhouse Class 158. I know because I've already tried doing this once. And it seems that there is a bug with the alerter not accepting your input. So the alert will come on, you push the button to say, yes, I'm aware, and all of a sudden it says, no, we're not going to let you respond. We're going to bring you to a stop because we want to make absolutely sure that you know you have to respond to this. So we're going to force you to stop because we can, is basically what it's saying. And it seems to be a bug with the Armstrong Powerhouse Class 158. I am extremely hopeful that is something that does get fixed in the future and that DTG is able to push it, but as an update on the route. But I am not convinced because it seems to be a problem with the train itself. And since Armstrong Powerhouse made the train, DTG cannot fix it. They wouldn't be authorized to even try to fix it. So it's something that Armstrong Powerhouse would have to fix themselves. And it is a known bug, I believe, with the train. Now, the good news is I said that we had all the extra time there. This should be Ravensthorpe, by the way. I said that we had all the extra time there, so we should be okay for our timing anyway, but that is just not cool seeing that there. That is just not cool seeing that happen. So we're going to respond. This time it took it. This time it took it. And we do have a... now I'll explain what the signal is. Flashing single yellow means we're going to have a junction going into Dewsbury. We're going to have to drop down to 40 for the junction, but we're going to be stopping by that point anyway, so who cares about the 40? And that brought my timing a lot closer than I really want it to be right now. Because for a moment there, it looked like I was arriving at 8:08. Now it's getting close to the 8:10 timing. So all of a sudden, this has increased the time for the stop here in a very negative fashion. So that's a bug that needs to be fixed with this train. And hopefully someone can figure that out and get that fixed. And tell DTG that, hey, we can fix this. Nice little car going underneath. Not nice bit of leg there, unfortunately. Our junction is going to take us to the left. Now, we still have lots of time for the stop, so I'm not concerned about the stop at all. This is fine. We have a whole minute to still be on time. So now that we're taking the junction, I will start braking now for the stop. That's about the time you want to hit the brakes anyway, regardless of your speed. Because you can bring this to a stop easily in this platform. I'm going to overshoot. No, I think I'm still on, actually. I might still be on. Nah, maybe the engine might have overshot. We'll take a look. But arrival at Dewsbury, platform number 1. leaving Dewsbury. Our next and final stop is Leeds. Looks like today we're going to be going to platform number 9. 9 East, I should say. There's an east and a west on that platform at Leeds. And we're leaving at a speed limit of 40 miles per hour, which we're going to try to approach very quickly here. We are going to pass by 3 more stations on the way to Leeds. I'll call them out as I see them. I know what those are at this point. So, shouldn't have a problem with them. Big building over here on the left here. Not sure what this is. But right by the track. You just imagine living in one of those things right by the track, having to hear trains go by all the time. That'd be, whether you like trains or not, that would be annoying after a while, especially if you're on the phone and you just, or something like that, or watching TV, and you just hear, it's like, yeah, shush, quiet. Let me do stuff. So I imagine there's got to be some good padding in the walls to not have to deal with the noise of the trains in that area. Or it's a business, in which case, who cares about noise? Businesses are already going to be noisy in some cases. So we're in a 75 mile per hour segment. We were at a 40 leaving the station. 75 is now the governing speed limit on this line. We're going to have a reduction when we get to the Morley area. But it does return to 75 after that. So a little bit of a hiccup there for us. What can you do other than respond to it? This is Batley Station. You saw a lovely lady there. Well, it's lovely-ish for pixelated people in games. So the next major feature at this point is going to be the Morley Tunnel. We're going to be seeing that coming along in the very near distance here. Just to reiterate, we're down to 7 1/3 miles to go before Leeds. We have about 11 minutes to make this journey. I don't see it taking that long. I honestly don't. Especially because our timing has us shown arriving... Well, actually, our timing says it's going to take that long. What do I know? Maybe it does. I just don't think it's going to take anywhere near that long. Just my guess. Here comes a speed decrease up ahead. So we're now in the Morley Tunnel, by the way. This is the very long Morley Tunnel. You saw that the tunnel does not fully load until like it keeps loading as you go along. So you think you're getting to the end of the tunnel. A little bit of a bug with the game in a sense. You think you're getting to the end of a tunnel, but then the next patch of tunnel loads in. So it's like, okay, let me out of here. Very dim headlights on that train. Well, I don't know what that train was. Let me bring up the map. No. Let me bring up the map and see what that train was. No, not me. Oh, there you go. That was the Newcastle Liverpool Lime Street. It does not say what kind of train that was. Okay, never mind. We must get down to 55, and that looks like a 45 afterwards, but I also see a 6 in there. It's like a 6 or a 1. You know what? I think those are just rogue 15 signs across the entire route. It seems to be a 15 sign meshing in with a lot of these signs. Because I see a straight line in a lot of them. So it looks like a 1 and a 6. We're just going to have to ignore these rogue 15 signs and just go the speed we're supposed to go, which is 65. Because that does look like a 6 behind the 1s. So yeah, 55 is our limit now. This should be at 65 coming up. There it is. The 15 sign vanishes and you see the 65. By the way, we did go through Morley Station. I didn't point that out. We're now on a bit of a downhill, so we're going to have to make sure we don't increase our speed too fast here. I'll go to a level, let's say 5 throttle right now. We're going to go ahead and ride on top of the train for a moment as we continue along. We're going to see over here as we move along. Let's actually cut the throttle off a bit here. I'm going to go ahead and just watch the train in the distance. I'm going to zip along here. Because if I go over the trees over here, we're going to find the White Rose Business Park. That is worth pointing out. The White Rose Business Park is, well, that's not anything new. This is not anything unusual. But what is unusual is there's going to be a new station opening to serve this White Rose Business Park. It's going to be in this general area right around here. So looking at the map right now, it's going to be right in this general area, right around where that portal is. Between where we are and the portal is going to be where the station is. So right up the line here, we're going to come along a station known as Cottingley Station. This station that you're about to see is due to close when White Rose opens. It will take White Rose will take over Cottingley services. So here is Cottingley Station coming up right now. So as I said, Cottingley Station will be closed. That's the station we just went through. Later this year or next year, early next year maybe. I have a feeling its closure will be around whatever the current timetable is. So the timetable, I don't know if the timetable for the next session currently takes White Rose into account or whether it takes Cottingley into account. But I'm assuming that if they do what I suspect they're going to do, then the Cottingley timetable is just going to be changed to White Rose timetable. And it's just going to take over the services. So the train's just going to have to go a little bit further. The times will be adjusted a little bit to allow for those changes. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens with that. So 50 mile per hour speed limit coming up. You'll notice I've started applying a little bit of a brake here to slow us down for that. Responding to the alert. This game has it in for me today. I've already tried to do this a couple times, and one of my attempts, the alerter did not want to respond. So I am not letting that alerter destroy my video run here. You're going to see this run as if the alerter has not caused me any problems here. So we're going to go ahead and go through this cleanly. I'm telling you this at the start of this part of the run so you know that I'm doing a single clean run here and not saves coming on the way. There's another alerter. That was for the double yellow signal. The first was for the speed reduction. This was for the double yellow. So again, there's a number of routes that come in here. And I'm just going to go ahead and keep the brakes on for a second as I show you. My view keeps re-saying to Leeds for some reason. You can see all the different lines coming in. For example, here's a line from Bradford. So this is the Bradford interchange, or the Bradford exchange, or whatever they call that station. This is the route coming from that local line. I'm told that this is probably the busiest route in the Leeds area coming in on the left. That's what I've been told. I've been told that Bradford exchange areas or interchange is a very, very busy line. We have green signals now, so that double yellow didn't mean anything to us. Whoever the obstruction was is cleared. Got to watch our speed now because we are in a 25 and we are on a downhill 1 in 83 gradient. We could have a double yellow up ahead here because we are going to be stopping at Leeds. So if there's a red at the end of the platform, this would have to be a double yellow. Or if it's maybe it's actually no, it's not a terminus because the route continues. All stations at Leeds, I don't believe there's any terminus. Well, there is a terminus at 17, but most of the platforms are not termini. You're going to be able to continue through on pretty much most of them. Just a matter of whether you're allowed to continue, in which case, for us, no, never. We're not going to be allowed to continue ever. You can see some. You can see there are some signage for some speeds after that too. The route does not continue to Neville, unfortunately. If the route continued to Neville, you'd see a lot more going on this side. It's just basically single track there. So the route will not continue to the other yard in the area, unfortunately. And they've already modeled Newton Heath for the purpose of Manchester Victoria, so it's not surprising. They could have probably chosen to do Neville instead of Newton Heath. We wouldn't have gotten Newton Heath in that case. Plus, they were doing what they already did on the Train Sim World route. They already had that route researched. They're just following their previous research on that. So I don't blame them for not doing Neville instead. Neville might have been better for bringing services in directly to Leeds and then continuing from there. I'm sure someone will want to add Neville on their own, and if they do, great. If they don't, great. I have not been seeing any alerts, so I think we're okay. Oh, no, that's a yellow. That's a single yellow. Yeah, we do have a red at the end, it looks like. But this is a mid-platform signal. You have to watch these mid-platform signals. Hello. Okay, Did I just get an emergency brake? I did just get... Jerks. Jerks, don't do this to me at the end of the scenario. Why? I'm just going to show you the rest of it. I don't care at this point. That bug has... I've had enough of that bug, and I've only played one of the 3 scenarios. That bug's going to happen again, guys. What I was trying to say is that those mid-platform yellows, they are... you can see a red there on the other side of it. Those mid-platform yellows are easy spad risks if you're trying to come into a platform. If you're expecting to move to the east platform and there's a red in the middle of the platform, you're getting spad. It counts as a spad. So we're stopping right here. Let's try and get the whole train in the platform preferably. We can do it before we hit the red, but it's very tight. We have the time, so we're going to do it. That's good. So we've arrived at Leeds platform 9 East. Let's look at the train as we finish. Okay, so notwithstanding the fact that the 158 has some alerter problems, and I really hope someday that can actually get fixed. I don't know what the problem is with this one that other trains don't have, but it's very slow sometimes to respond to the alert. Maybe it's just processing too much at once. I don't know. Hopefully that gets fixed someday. That can be really annoying if you're on a very tight timetable. So if you're planning to use this AP train, keep the timetable a little bit loose in your custom scenarios, just in case there is a problem with the alerter not doing what it should, especially if you plan to have the player following double yellows. You might have to allow them to follow some greens instead, because the alerter is going to cause problems in some of these scenarios, I'm pretty sure. Hello! I should have known that was coming. Good work. You've reached the end of your shift. Time for a well-earned break. Okay, if you say so. This kind of thing we have to clear quickly, so I'll see you at the scoring screen. So I said we have to clear that kind of alert quickly. The type of alert that was used at the end of the scenario there, if you don't clear that within about 15 seconds, the game will advance automatically and your mouse will disappear. That is a core bug. So when you see something like that, you want to get off it quickly, because otherwise you're going to be trying to struggle to figure out how to find the main menu button and then to find your way out of the game so you can reset your mouse if you want to continue playing. So you definitely want to clear that particular type of ending screen quickly. If you don't, you're going to basically have problems. So in any case, scenario is completed. You notice that we had the station hotel in the background there as well. I noticed a little bit of a bug as I was just doing this right now. There seems to be some ground sunk in front of the hotel that needs to be fixed. I didn't show you the view with that, but that is something I'm definitely going to report as something that needs to be looked at here, because I did not see that. Well, again, it's my first scenario, so I couldn't have seen that before. But I'm going to assume that perhaps that has been seen by testers, but maybe just not fixed yet. I'm sure there is going to be a post-release fix, so if you do happen to see the sunken ground in front of the hotel, like I said, maybe it is like that in real life. I don't know. Maybe it does look like that in real life, just not represented well in that case. But I didn't want to show the picture from above that I was planning to show you, just in case it's not supposed to look like that. So I'm going to go ahead and report that. You did get to see the station hotel, though, next to Platform 8. Very nice looking hotel there, and modeled very nicely. It's just the ground around it that was a mess. So we'll see what has to be done about that. But in the meantime, that was it was a nice scenario. It was just too tight. And when scenarios have timings that are that tight that you have to redo it just to get the timing correct, that kind of takes away from the fun a little bit. So that should have been a little more, like a slightly more relaxed, I would say. That would have been more enjoyable. But hey, how did you do on your first run? Did you manage to do a perfect run without having to reset on the go? Let me know of how bad of a player I am. I appreciate knowing that. So train 1E49 is done. The 723 Manchester Piccadilly to Hull is completed. And we're going to carry on with the next scenario tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. A Class 142 scenario, I recall. I don't know the rest offhand, but it is a Huddersfield to Manchester Victoria, I believe. So a shorter scenario tomorrow. Looking forward to taking that 142 for a spin. It is the same 142 from the standalone DLC. It is bundled with this route. So you are going to get that with the route if you were to acquire this route. If you already own it, then you basically still have it. So that won't change. So see you for that Class 142 scenario tomorrow. Same one that you see on Liverpool Manchester, like I was saying. Probably a reskin. But either way, you're going to see the new scenario tomorrow. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I'm Cyclo. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever it is for your part of the world. And that next scenario, if it's already up, will start in 3, 2, 1.